Hey guys, Ben Osterveld here with the Business from Within podcast. Hey guys, Ben here from Business from Within. Got a little a few minute episode here. Just, you know what, yesterday woke up feeling totally down, feeling like what am I doing? Overwhelmed. And it's like this old feeling that just comes back and visits. And I feel like on Facebook, on Instagram, I feel like it's so fake, but like everyone's putting their best foot forward, everyone's got filters. But even as a coach and even as someone that's authentic, like how do you be real on Facebook and Instagram? Like how does that even work? Like what do? You put a picture of me yelling at my kid then later I feel bad for yelling at my kid? Or, or the day I feel like, what am I doing even podcasting, or what am I doing even, like, it's not like every day that happens, but sometimes you feel like you're just not there. You're just not what the image is out there. The truth is you got to be real, but I think on Facebook, Instagram, and these places, I don't know if everyone even wants you to be real. I think the idea is just to know in your heart, you're being who you are, be the best version of who you can be real with what's going on inside you, and it's just going to happen. Like, you have these days. But so I went to a hockey tournament with my son, which he killed it. He's his first year playing hockey. I won't go too long on that because it's more of a dad bragging about his son, but he got like 6 points in one game, which is awesome. He finished the tournament, but during the weekend, I thought, you know what, I'm just going to let loose. I had a beer, had he let loose, had one beer. That's not the letting loose part. The part I'm talking about is food and sleep. So these are the two things I'm very conscious of. If I sleep and if I eat well, I'm like a machine. The amount of things I can get done in a day, still have family time, and still be a happy guy, like that's really the two foundational places for my life. The more I'm getting older, the more I feel how affected I get. I ate pizza, poutine, milkshake. I went to bed at midnight, 12:30 every night. It's just the nature of a tournament. No big deal. On the way home, we're like, you know what? Let's go to this fast food place. And it's not normal for me to do that. If I did, it'd be like a day, half a day. But this was like 2.5 days of just letting loose. And it felt good going in. It did not feel good after. But you know what? You just kind of, back in the day when I was a street kid doing drugs, it almost felt a little drug-addish. Where you just think, if I'm letting loose, I'm letting loose. And you don't just have any discipline, you just let loose. And I'm with my 2 kids, and so all of us are just wiped. So we go home, we go to bed, and guess what? I decided, you know what? I need a coffee. Another error, another mistake, felt a little drug addict-like. Like, I don't care. Next thing you know, I can't sleep. So now it's my 3rd night where I'm staying up. Now this night, I couldn't sleep at all. So I turn on the TV, you sit there for a while. And now the next day, I woke up, but I have enough awareness to understand that I can't trust exactly what's going to happen the next day. I'm like, time to make this shift. I am not happy with myself. I told my wife, I'm like, look, if I'm going to eat like this and not sleep, I said it's just such a disrespect for my body and myself, and I just lose touch with my spirit. I can't, intuition is quieter. I'm frustrated. It's just such a price to pay. It's becoming more and more expensive in my own personal self to have that happen. Now, here's the thing. That next morning I woke up and all I could think of was negative thoughts. It was so interesting. I observed myself being depressed. And I'm like, all of a sudden I looked at my task list. I'm like, wow, I've got so much to do and I don't even know where to start. I'm like, where are these thoughts coming from? And it was just like this, my body had just been killed. And it wasn't even that bad, but it was bad enough to leave a depression mark. I start looking at like long-term finances. I go, well, and I start looking at, like different projects I'm working on, and I'm looking at it was just a depression run. Then I go to work, I go sit down, I start working, don't know what to do, I'm not motivated, and it's just almost like you get so overwhelmed that you do nothing. So I thought about it and I thought, okay, now this is the part of the podcast I want you guys to absolutely get. Listen to this. I sat back. I've done this before in my life, and you have a choice. You can plow through your day and just get to the end. And that's usually what I do. You aggressively like, that doesn't matter. I'm not in the best mood, but I'm getting shit done and blah, blah, blah. I've got responsibilities. And you know what I thought? This time I'm going to be gentle. I need to shift my energy. I need to shift my energy. Then I could be very productive. I can get back in the game. But I know that when you go off track, it takes a little bit of momentum, takes a little bit of days to actually get back on track. So if you think you can just click it back on, you're wrong. You pay the price for going off track, for drinking too much, for hitting any kind of extra drugs or anything that people do out there. It doesn't go, okay, tomorrow I'll be fine. It takes days. So here's what I did. I thought, you know what? How can I fast track my recovery from being like a drug addict with food and sleep and just zero self-care or high lack of self-care? So here's what I did. I went and I thought, what makes me happy? What makes people happy is, I believe, one of the biggest things that drives happiness is progress. If you feel like you're spinning your wheels in life, that's depression. You feel like you're not worth anything, it's depression. And you look around and you're like, if you're happy with living with a very dirty car or whatever. So my tip here is this. I've got a few tips. First of all, I went and I found the laundry that had been sitting on a pile of clothes, and I actively went at the laundry. I thought, this laundry is an energy that's sitting there. It's kind of like, I look at it and going, man, why don't you clean up? It's like this subtle voice that beats you up a little bit every day when you look around going, I should be doing that. And I'm not. So I thought, you know what? I'm kind of in a pissy mood. I'm not feeling good. I'm feeling depressed, overwhelmed, not focused on my vision and my mission, and relationally I'll be about 50%. I thought, screw this. I'm going to change this. Grab my laundry, put it in the laundry, started doing laundry. That was my first shift. Secondly, I said the next thing is to have a really honest conversation with someone that you absolutely love and someone that supports you, which would be my wife. So I said, Renee, I really need to talk to you. I said, I don't know what to do. I said, I'm lost right now. I said, and I just got so honest with her and how I feel. And I said, look, I'm not feeling good. I didn't take care of myself. Now I'm on tilt. And so anyways, we sat down and she helped me see a reality of where we really were at. And she goes, it's not too bad, Ben. You're seeing it pretty extreme and overwhelmed. But there are some things that we are leaving that we're not looking at. There was something kind of like accounting. There was a transaction in our bank that our accountant wanted to find out what that was, and I'd been avoiding it because I hate looking at that stuff, and it's just not I'd rather build a big vision than look at the details as a natural personality. My wife says, well, why don't we take a look at some of this stuff and get the reality? I'm like, you're so right. Popped open the computer, and we did 3 or 4 things that we were avoiding, and I did, and I kind of used her strength by having an honest conversation. So that's a huge thing. So do something in your life that, first of all, do something in your life that's just hanging around when you're having these days. It's part of the recovery. Go clean your car, clean the office, clean a drawer that has been sitting there, the junk drawer, clean it out. Do the Tupperware, do the laundry, do stuff like the accounting. Like, there's stuff that was just hanging, and it was just unreal how that was part of when you're having a down day, this stuff just shows up. And then it's just a reason to beat yourself up. Very subtly, but it's happening. So we probably did 3 or 4 different things that were just hanging around. That helped a bit. Next thing you know, I'm like, I got to get to work. I got to get stuff done. Half a day, just kind of shifting my energy, getting myself back on track. And then I just didn't feel like it. And I'm like, man, I got so much to do. I thought, you know what? I'm not there yet. So guess what? We grabbed our ice skates and we took the kids ice skating. Now, the exercise is one of the best ways to shift a negative run, a negative attitude, a depression moment in life, an overwhelming feeling, stop the game. It took me like 1 hour, and we went skating. So there was two things that happened. It was exercise. My heart got going, and even body is releasing dopamine, releasing endorphins, because once you start rolling, they start getting happy drugs in your mind when you start doing exercise, which is almost like an antidepressant. So it's critical to get your game back that way. The next thing was holding my daughter's hand, skating around, and she goes, I love you, Daddy. Now that is another unbelievable energy that just, it's almost like if you have darkness, you know how easy it is to get rid of darkness? You just flick on a light. And light is the love energy. It's just unbelievable how easy it is when you actually feel loved. So there's something very important, hanging out with my kids and my wife, and we were chasing each other and running around, and it was like almost, I think it was 4 o'clock by the time I thought, you know what, I feel pretty good. And I said, okay, Renee, I'm heading to my office. I'm going to put an hour in. And I drove to my office and I realized, you know what, I'm still not wanting to go to the office. So I went home to my home office and I didn't actually work. I even got more stuff done, like my son's hockey schedules on our board. I got a couple things done that it's the last thing on my list. So I did the last things on my list. And you know what, by about 5 or 6 o'clock, I felt actually very good. And so these are the few things there. Another way I could have done it, there's a technique that is really cool, is if you want to engage the dopamine, the endorphins, the love energy, take 5 thank you cards and literally write 5 thank you cards to people, like a waitress, to a guy pumping your gas. You start spreading this love. If you want to put a $10 bill in there, you watch what happens. People lose their mind, but what you get, they say, oh my goodness, this is amazing. Oh, like it's just a card and a couple bucks. But just the thoughtfulness. In your depression, you give thoughtfulness. It almost is like flicking on that switch that goes click, depression gone. You do that 5 times. I guarantee you, your energy, vibrational energy is risen. Now go try to go to work. Now go work on your projects. Now do your coaching, your development, you do whatever you do afterwards. That is what you need to do. You can't just plow through. You're not going to be the best boss. If you're a team player, if you're a business owner, you're going to be a bit of an asshole, or you're going to be super quiet. People are going to misunderstand you. If you're introverted and being depressed, they're going to go, what's up with him? Then people that are insecure are going to misread you, and you're going to be like, oh, no, it's me. But they're not going to actually have this conversation, especially introverted people, or if people are, no, they don't have the communication lines with you as a boss. Well, then they're going to misunderstand that you're upset because you didn't take care of yourself, not because they did something. So you got to be very careful being a team lead. You got to be very careful if you even have a relationship, a wife, a partner, kids. Everything will be misunderstood because you're just not the top of your game. You got to shift your energy. You have a bad day. The number one focus is to create progress, shift your energy, feel loved. So the thing is, that is the number one thing that you got to just eliminate before you can get onto your project. I don't care what you've got on the plate. This is a huge deal. Anyways, I just wanted to share. People have down days. I have down days. I'm not perfect, but guess what? I'm not going to stop. I'm extremely focused on what I want in life. And if you don't have that feeling of, or that clarity of what I want in life, or even a little piece of that, then you're going to feel lost. Then when you feel lost, you don't feel progress. You don't feel progressed, you start feeling depressed. Because when you feel progress, you feel amazing. You feel like you're going somewhere. And so anyways, this is a huge deal, guys. Anyways, wanted to share this with you. Wanted to share my heart. Anyways, more to come. That is today's Business from Within podcast. That is legitimately from within. Cheers.